I have my grid completed here, and I have labeled 5 columns: pencil, just tone, pencil, cross hatching. This is going to be pencil, stippling. This is going to be vine charcoal, and this is going to be compressed charcoal. A tip for you is to start with the pencil. Charcoal can get very messy, and if you're working from left to right, you won't smudge your drawing quite as much. It's still gonna smudge a little bit. If you are left-handed, then sometimes we will use one pencil in your right hand to keep your left hand, as you're drawing from the eraser side, from smudging what's underneath it. But if we're right-handed and we're working from left to right, then you don't have to worry about smudging. So you want to start with your 6B pencil. I don't know if you can see the name of the pencil there. So that is your softest and darkest lead. It's going to give you your darkest color. And you're gonna wanna fill that whole 1x2 inch square rectangle with your darkest darks. And I would start by using the side of the pencil and then increase the pressure on the pencil as you feel comfortable. You don't want to break the pencil, so you don't want to bear down so hard. So I'm not even pushing down that hard, and I'm getting a nice, rich, deep gray. So we're going to continue with that. I'm going to leave this one white, and we're trying to try to get soft gradations of color from darkest dark to pure white, or paper in this case is the whitest. Sharpen your pencil whenever you want to, and you can experiment with your blending stumps as well. So you don't want to use the same stump as you used for your white charcoal. You want to use one stump. I would take one of those stumps and devote it to pencil, one of your stumps and devote it to white charcoal, and one of your stumps and devote it to black charcoal. And keep them separate, and that way they will stay clean. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this value scale, blending from darkest darks all the way up to lightest lights. And then the next step is to use a pencil for cross hatching. Now for cross hatching, you don't need something quite so soft. You might want something with a little bit of a harder lead. So let's try our 2B. Remember I told you to buy 4B, 6B, and 2B? So 2B is a little bit of a harder lead. So what we're gonna do here is hatching. Now hatching are just little lines, and cross hatching is just making little X's with those little lines. So, excuse my son, he's getting ice in the background. So the closer the lines are together, the darker your value is going to be, the darker your overall area will look. And you're going to want this dark valued one to be very, very close together lines. Hatching and cross hatching. And you can do the whole space in a really systematic way, or you can just sort of scribble, scrabble, and layer. As you get to the whitest white, you're going to want to have much less pressure and much further apart line. So hatching and cross hatching. Stippling are just dots. So for stippling, the darkest ones are going to be closer together. And stippling is often something that's done with ink or in printmaking. The darkest dots are going to be closer together. In the lighter areas, they're going to be barely visible, and you want a gradation of that. Then you're going to find your vine charcoal. This is what that looks like. You're going to repeat the same process by blending vine charcoal all the way from darkest darks to lightest light. And then you're going to use your compressed charcoal square. So the vine, you can tell the difference here. The vine is very thin. It's also called willow. And it snaps very easily. And already, I barely touched the charcoal and already I'm really dirty. So you want to, you know, work someplace where making a mess is not that big of a deal. I happen to be in an all-white kitchen, which is not great. So there's your vine charcoal. And this is your compressed. I still got a vine or willow in my hand, and this is your compressed. And those are going to be your darkest darks there. Go from darkest dark to lightest light, and then when you're finished, you can erase any mess that you might have made in between the columns or around the edges, sign, date, and signature, and then we're going to spray it with fixative. So I am going to demonstrate the spray fix once I get this finished. But in the meantime, don't wait to get started.